Good day, everyone. My name is Jim Lakis. I am the Director of Financial Aid here at Lycoming College. And what I'd like to go over today is some very general information about your financial aid award letter, go over some loan options for you, perhaps some scholarship opportunities, the payment plan. Just want to give you folks a general overview of what may be ahead of you should you decide, and hopefully you will, decide to join us here at Lycoming College in the fall. We're glad you're with us. We are excited about the class that's coming in. Looks like we're going to have a great class, and if there are any point that you folks have any questions or concerns, please feel free to get a hold of the financial aid office. There's myself, Missy, and Jamie in the office. Feel free to contact us at any point in time, and we would be more than happy to assist in answering any questions that you might have. So let's get started. The first thing I want to go over is the financial aid award letter that your son or your daughter has gotten in the mail. If you have filled out a FAFSA application, we would have mailed you this financial aid award letter. And on this award letter, it details the scholarships and grants that your son or daughter has been awarded. And of course, the scholarships and grants are the types of financial aid that you do not need to repay in any way. So that's the gift aid. That's the good part of financial aid, the part that we like to award to students. And you can see in the top half of where the awards are is where we list all the scholarships and the grants that we think that your son or daughter is eligible for. Beneath that, we put the educational loans that they are eligible for. Typically for students, this would be the Stafford loan. Either your son or daughter got a subsidized Stafford or an unsubsidized Stafford or both. Any combination of the Stafford loans is listed in that education loans section. You'll see that we divided the award into fall and spring semesters and have given a total. When you receive your bill, you'll receive a bill for the fall semester, and the bills will be sent out in the first week of July. First payment is due in the first week of August. A second bill would be sent in spring, and that bill is sent around Thanksgiving time and is due just in time for Christmas. So there's your Christmas gift to Lycoming College. Direct expenses is what we have listed next. And here we have the tuition, room and board, if your son or daughter is going to be living on campus, and estimated fees that are included in the costs. Underneath the total direct expenses, which this coming year would be $56,521, we have what the direct aid is split out between the scholarships and the grants. So in this particular illustration, the total scholarships and grant aid is a little over $39,000 to this student, while the loans are at $5,500. Please note that on these loans, if your child is going to be taking the Stafford loan, there is going to be a little over 1% origination fee on that student loan, which the government charges each loan recipient. So you'll notice that we put the net amount in parentheses next to the gross amount of the student loan. So just be aware of that if you're going to be relying upon these loans to help fund the education for the coming year. The loan amount is going to be a little less than what the gross amount is that your son or daughter is applying for. You'll also notice underneath that is we list the total direct cost to the student. And in this case, we have it at a little over $11,950. Split that into two, about $59.76 per semester. So we broke it down in that regard. Also, in the last paragraph of this page, please note there are other expenses that you have to be thinking about as well, such as books, transportation, travel, those types of things. So be aware that those are additional costs that really are going to be up to the individual family. So just be aware that there are other costs involved, just that the college won't bill you for. So, getting on to how to get the Stafford loan if your son or daughter is going to be applying for that. This is the studentaid.gov website. And this website is where every student, if they are going to be taking a federal direct Stafford loan, must go to this website. This probably looks familiar since you've already filled out the FAFSA application. It's the exact same website. This is the landing page. If your son or your daughter is going to be applying for the Stafford loan, in the upper right-hand corner of this screen, they are going to click on Complete the Aid Process in order to do what's necessary for that Stafford loan. And by clicking on that Complete Aid Process, there are going to be three links that your son or your daughter can access on the next page. And the first thing that your student needs to do is complete the Stafford loan entrance counseling. Now, the entrance counseling is going to explain to the student their rights and responsibilities regarding the Stafford loan. Next, after they complete that, is the master promissory note that has to be signed. Now, it is signed electronically. It's going to be signed using your FSA ID, which is the same ID the student used to complete the FAFSA application. So you go from the entrance counseling to the master promissory note, and new this year, for the first time, there's also an additional step that has to be completed. This year, students need to complete the annual student loan acknowledgement process. And this is true even for first-year students. Basically, all this step involves is explaining to the student at that point in time how much they have borrowed through the Stafford loan program. So the federal government's intent here is to keep students informed each and every year as to how much student loan they have accumulated, which is a great idea for them to be aware of. So even though the first one this year is going to be 0, you still have to complete the process. You have to acknowledge the fact that you have seen that your son or daughter has not borrowed up to this point, but that is something that they are going to need to do each and every year. Notice down below, the entrance counseling and the master promissory note only needs to be completed once during their academic career. It's the annual loan acknowledgement process, however, does need to be completed each and every year. So as your student progresses to the sophomore, junior, senior year, they are going to have to go back to studentaid.gov if they want another Stafford loan and complete the annual student loan acknowledgement process. Again, that needs to be done each and every year. Also, at the studentaid.gov website, the same website that the student goes to apply for the Stafford loan, you as the parent may wish to think about taking out a Parent Plus loan. Plus is parent loan for undergraduate students. And here, as you can see in the upper right-hand corner, the parent will click Apply for Aid. And then there will be some links that you can click on from that point forward. The first being, the parent must complete the PLUS loan application process and the credit check. Unlike the Stafford loan, where there is no credit check, the Stafford loan is a guaranteed amount that the student's going to be eligible for. That is not the case with the parent loan. The parent loan does require a credit check each and every year, and the parent must complete that. If the parent is approved for the credit check, and parents will know that immediately after they hit the submit button, then they can move on to the master promissory note. And again, just like the student, the parent will sign that master promissory note using their FSA ID. Also, just like the student and new this year, parents also have to complete the annual parent loan acknowledgement process. So they too, if they're going to be taking PLUS loans year after year, they're going to be made aware of what their cumulative borrowing has been each and every year. And that step must be taken in order to get the PLUS loan. Please note, parent must complete the PLUS application every year. This is not a one and done thing like the Stafford loan. The PLUS loan has to be applied for each and every year. If the application is denied, if the credit check comes back and the parent is denied that PLUS loan, the student automatically becomes eligible for $4,000 in additional student loan funds, unsubsidized Stafford loan funds, if the parent is denied that PLUS loan. The student can't get those funds for the academic year. So even though the parent may apply for that PLUS loan, if they are denied, the student still has additional resources at their disposal. Moving on to private loans. Many families may find that a private loan option is a better option than the PLUS loan. You have to keep in mind, in the PLUS loan, the interest rate currently is 7% per year, which is a relatively high interest rate. Also, on that Parent PLUS loan, there is a 4.3% origination fee. So, if the parent borrows $10,000 for the year, right off the top, the government is getting $430 of that in the origination fee. So you have to be aware of that. With private loans, or these alternative educational loans, I do not think there are any of them that charge the origination fee. So that's one plus. If the family has an excellent credit rating or a credit history, they may be able to find a very attractive interest rate as well. Now the thing is, with these private loans, each one is different, so you really have to shop around and see which loan is going to be best for the family. Is a variable interest rate going to be better? Is a fixed interest rate going to be better? What are the repayment terms? Can I defer my payments? All these things can be different with each and every lender, so be aware of that as well. You really do have to shop around. Also on these loans, either the student or the parent can be the borrower. So if you'd rather have your son or daughter be the borrower, they will need a creditworthy co-signer to apply for one of these private loans. So please be aware of that as well. The parent can be the borrower too, so the parent can go on, apply for this loan, and they would be the borrower. There are good options with different lenders. So if the student is going to be the borrower, there are a lot of these loan companies will offer, if the student makes successful payments for 3 years or so, they will release the cosigner. So incentives such as that exist with each lender, so you just have to be aware of what those incentives are and be aware of which could be the best option for the family. If you were to type in elmselect.com, and then after that type in Lycoming College, you will be given a list of about 15, 16 different lenders that you can choose from. This is right on the Lycoming website, so feel free to go in there at some point in time, click in Elm Select, Lycoming College, and you can start shopping for a student loan at that point. If you have any questions, of course, about either the Parent PLUS loan, the student loan, Stafford loan, or these private educational loans, you can always call the financial aid office. Enough of loans. There are also scholarship web searches that you can do, or that your son or your daughter can do, and we strongly encourage that. As more and more students are relying upon borrowing these days, we are trying to move in the opposite direction and get more and more students thinking about what are the free options out there, free resources out there. You can check out some of these websites. We have these listed on our Lycoming College financial aid page. You can click on them, and they will lead to other websites that you may wish to investigate. But by all means, we encourage all students to, whenever they can, to try and find their own private scholarship resources to bring with them to Lycoming College, maybe reduce that loan debt a little bit. Now, we do have to be made aware that the student is bringing in some scholarships. A lot of times They'll, after a graduation night, for example, at high school, they'll win some scholarships. Please inform us of what those scholarships are and how much they are worth. We do have to, for federal regulations, keep track of that. And if we have to reduce something in order to fit that scholarship in, the first thing we would do is we would reduce the student loan eligibility. We will not touch any Lycoming grant or scholarship unless, of course, the student is bringing in so much scholarship funds that they're exceeding the cost of attendance, and then something will have to be reduced on the grant or the scholarship end. But that's not too often the case. Sometimes, however, we do have to reduce student loan eligibility. So by all means, investigate these opportunities. Perhaps you as a parent have worked for an employer who has educational benefits for their employees. If you're not aware of that, maybe you can check with your HR to see if that might be true for the company you work for. We do have some students here who actually work for themselves for some companies. Here there's some local shopping grocery stores, for example, that give employee scholarships. We have one girl here this year who gets a scholarship from the McDonald's she works at. So check out those employers, see if there are scholarship opportunities there, and by all means take advantage of that. Also, student employment here at Lycoming College. Any student who wishes to work while they're enrolled here at Lycoming can work. Whether it's through the Federal Work-Study Program or the Campus Employment Program, all students are encouraged to work and seek employment and work. No student will be allowed to, or be permitted to work in excess of 20 hours per week. Typically, students will work between 8 and 10 hours per week. That could easily bring the student $1,500 to $2,000 in work-study funds. So we do encourage students to use the opportunities available here for employment. Find yourself a job, and by all means, seek out employment when you get here. The Center for Enhanced Academic Experiences is the group on campus that students can search for, through whom students can search for employment opportunities. There's a website at the CEAE where it's a job board that they can go to see what positions may be available. The good folks in the CEAE may also be able to help locate different positions on campus where they know that there are employment needs. So by all means, utilize the CEAE for federal work study. You can also come over to the financial aid office. We're contacted throughout the semesters by different employers looking for students, so we can also help students in that regard. So by all means, we hope you pursue those opportunities. Just a note about the work study. Students are paid every 2 weeks through electronic funds transfer. These funds are not to be used to reduce the college bill. However, the intent is to provide the student with some spending money while they're currently enrolled in courses here at the college. You can save up your money that you've earned and pay for books, for example, or any other miscellaneous expenses that you may have, but they are not to be used, or they cannot be used to reduce your tuition, room and board bill. So please be aware of that. Lastly, there is a monthly payment plan that parents may be interested in participating in. Approximately 33%, about a third of our families participate in the payment plan. This is the website within the business office where you can find out information on the payment plan. You'll notice on this screen here, Spring 2020 Monthly Payment Plan. That is the current screenshot, but by the time you enroll, your son or your daughter enrolls in the fall semester, that will say Fall 2020. You can see on the right-hand side is the link to sign up for the payment plan. You can walk through the process. Of course, if you have questions as you're going through the process, you can call the business office and they will help you through it. There is a $25 charge to enroll in the payment plan per semester. So it's $50 for an entire year or $25 per semester. There is no interest charged whatsoever. So there is that enrollment fee and that would be it. So again, if you have questions, contact the business office and they can help you with the payment plan. Just to let you know, for the fall semester, if you begin make your first payment through the payment plan in July, then you would have 5 months to spread your fall payments out over a 5-month period. If you waited till start to August for the first payment, then you only have 4 months. So it's either a 5 or a 4-month plan per semester, depending upon when you make that first payment. So please be aware of that. That would be about it. I hope this was somewhat informative for you. On the screen, again, is my name and my assistants within the financial aid office. Feel free to give us a call, email us at any point in time, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you very much. We look forward to having your students here in the fall. Thank you.